But let's try to get some out just for you. Look at that. On today's episode of the Jamaican Cooking Journey, I'll be sharing with you a baked mac and cheese. But before we get on to the tutorial, I would just like to say special thanks to all the people supporting the Jamaican Cooking Journey. Welcome to the new people, and also welcome back to some of our returnees that have left us and come back. I want to send a shout out to my patrons. If you'd like to be a part of my patron family, especially in this Christmas season, we'll be posting some nice videos over on our Patreon page. Our post notification shout outs today, they go right up there. Now, baked mac and cheese. So I'm going to be using this pasta. I'm going to be using the penne rigate, and it's the smaller size penne pasta. I'm going to be using about a pack. I have 2 packs here, but I might just be using either a pack and a half or a pack and 3/4. I'll let you know. My milk that I'm using is going to be coconut milk and freshly squeezed coconut milk and evaporated milk. Those are the 2 milk that I'll be using. I'll be using 3 cheeses. I have here, and this is I shred it myself. I don't like to get the pre-packaged one, so I shred it. I have 2 pounds of cheese here, 1 pound of mild cheddar, and a pound of pepper jack. And I'll be incorporating some of this Velveeta, the black one. Okay, so we have 3 cheese right. There's 3 cheeses right there. Also, I have a little breadcrumbs, and this is my homemade breadcrumbs, and in it too I had some cheese. This is my homemade breadcrumbs. If you go to my Patreon page, you will see how I do it. Okay, I also will be putting a little smoked paprika and all of that. So my water right on over here. I have my water right here coming to a boil, and I am going to salt my water with this. The cheeses are salty, so I still have to salt my pasta water reasonably well, because the pasta needs to absorb some form of salt taste in there before it goes into the cheese sauce. So I'm letting it come to a boil. Cook according to your package instructions, and you don't want to overcook, because remember that when it goes into the oven, it will be finished cooking off in there for about 20 to 25 minutes. So you want to get it like sort of not softly cooked through. That softly cooked through, you want it to finish in the oven. So they would say al dente or whatever, but me, I'd give you the local regular thing. You just want to have it cooked like 3/4. You don't want to cook in it too soft. All right, so with my water there coming to a boil, you put it in reasonably hot water. I'll be using this pot, and I'll be starting on my cheese sauce in the next clip. So this is, for me, this is good. This is at the hottest now with all those bubbles in there. So I'm gonna empty my first pack of pasta. Remember, I did salt my water, and as I said to you, I like to use a reasonable amount of water. I don't like to use too much water. I'm too less of a water, so I put a pack in there, and I am going to put another half, and I'll tell you how much ounces. I'll tell you. I'll put it on the screen or in the comment section. So when I put my pasta, I like to give it a generous stir. I will not be using any oil, all of that. I find that when you use oil and all of those things, it doesn't have the cheese sauce sticking to the pasta that much. So that is it. So you can come every now and then within that 8 minutes. This one says 8 minutes on the packaging. Remember to look at your pasta packaging. They always say the cooking time. Each brand of pasta varies. So in the next clip, I'll be moving on to the cheese sauce. That's how you do it. Whilst your pasta is cooking, you start on your cheese sauce. So I have 2.5 cups of coconut milk, freshly squeezed, and I'm going to be grating 2 pegs of my garlic in there. You could use garlic powder if you want to use some form of garlic, okay? I'm gonna be starting off my sauce. To be honest, this sauce won't have any room. Now I use no flour. I'm not gonna use any butter. So I'll show you what I'll be using. So no salt, because we are gonna see my pasta here. You see it's boiling. So as it boils, you can just stir it, you know, check on it and work with your timing, because you don't want it to get too soggy. Okay, yeah. Coconut milk, and it is pretty heated. I have 1 pound of Velveeta cheese that I had put in cubes, and I'm gonna be putting it in there. Velveeta takes a little time to melt, so I'm just gonna be stirring it, and not too much of a high heat until it melts. Whilst you see, you need to be paying attention to your pasta and ride down whistle, so you can give it another little stir as you go along. You see that? So you want to make sure you're paying attention to your pasta. Okay, continuing here now to melt our Velveeta. You see it start get broken up, but it is still gonna take a little time. So we're gonna melt it, and then I'll catch you in the next clip. So you see, when I tell you to use enough water to cook your pasta, so I'm straining off my pasta right in there. I'm gonna let it stay there and drain. Okay, I won't rinse it though, because I'm not using any roux all of that, so I need the extra starch to stay on the pasta. You see that? This is what it looks like when it's al dente. You see that? So we're letting the water strain. We have our 2 pound of cheese here, 1 pound of mild cheddar, and our pepper jack. Yeah, so our Velveeta has almost been melted, and you see that nice creamy look with the coconut milk. We're gonna start adding about a half of this in portions, not all at once, and we are gonna continue whisking. This will dissolve easier than the Velveeta. So I'm gonna be putting it in, yeah, a little at a time, as soon as it dissolves, and I'll be watching it. Okay, so we have put in about a half of our shredded cheese. We have just hit our oven. This is the correct time to hit your oven preheat at 350. Gonna turn your stove down a bit. You don't want it too high as the cheese melts. Yeah. So I'm gonna be doing a little seasoning up now. I'm gonna put a little black pepper. If you have the one that you crack, you could. So I'm putting a little black pepper, because you have to, you know, flavor up some of these cheese. I like to use a little basil, because basil have a nice little, you know, that nice little flavor going on. Yeah, but you could use whatever you want. I think I might want to eat it with a little bit of cayenne pepper too. I'm putting a little dash of my paprika smoke. Yeah, because we have to season up. I think our thing is too high. You see our sauce is getting thick, and we don't want it burn. We're gonna eat it with a little cayenne pepper at this point, just a dash to give us a little heat. Yeah, going on. Yeah, let's use the finer part. Little cayenne, that's good. And you see right here, it's cooking, so we want it to cook on the low. See, it's getting that thickness, you see that? And we don't have any flour in this one, so you want to. So we're gonna let it cook until it thickens some more. So I'm gonna put in some of my evaporated milk, probably half of this, and I'm gonna stir it in properly, scraping around the edges, and I'm gonna just leave it to cook a little more, and then I will leave it to rest. Let it cool down a bit, because as it cools down, then the sauce gets even more thickened. So we are right back here in the real kitchen, real thing, where you see me using my hands. I'm using this brazier, cast iron brazier. You can use your casserole, but this can be used as a casserole. So if you have your regular rectangle or your round, but I am using this, and that is the beauty about the cast iron braces. They can be used as casseroles, so you can move them from the oven to the table. So real thing, real everything I get on the inner. I like to grease mine, so I'm greasing it very, very generous. Yeah. So I'm beating 2 eggs. If you have, these are small, so that's why I'm beating 2. So if you have large eggs, you just use 1. So my cheese sauce is like cooling down now, and now is the time that you want to be not skipping off this video. You see, as it cools down, you don't want to put it on its same time, you know. Our pasta is relatively cool, so I can hold it. So I'll go be putting it in just a little at a time, not all at one time, you know. And then you're going to coat it properly, right? So probably we put it in 2. And you don't want to have too less of a sauce, because it's going into the oven to bake, so when it come out, it dry. You don't want it all dried out when it come out of the oven, don't it? No, you don't. So we are coating it up. You see, we have enough sauce and all of that. You want to have it all nice and dandy. And you see all those little pieces of the pepper jack cheese in there, those little, you know, and we'll put season we'll put. Let's put the rest. So you want to make sure that your pasta, you know, just drain it and put in the hot pasta. So okay, remember the pasta, it has starch in there. So the more you let it cool, the better you work. Better work you get from it, okay? So now we are folding in the rest of our pasta, and I'm gonna show you that it's pretty soft and have enough moisture going down in there. You see that? Yeah, and this is not what we are gonna be baking it in. So at this time, we can't have scrambled egg here, so we're gonna just put our egg right in, and we're gonna just fold it in just as that, just like that, just like that. You can really, you don't have to use the egg, it's optional. So look at this. You see how this look nice? You want moisture in your mac and cheese for going in the oven. Let's fold in the egg properly, and then we're gonna scoop it. You know, want to bake it in this, you know, like how you mix it up in there, you know. You just want to make sure that you have your thing locked and all of that. Once you mix in the eggs, you can't have scrambled egg again. I'm gonna be doing a little layering for you. So I'm gonna get some in. I'm gonna be putting pasta more like a kind of lasagna thing, like. You see me I say? I'm gonna layer it with the cheese, because we have enough cheese, so we can make the layer. A little thing that we happen, you know, a little mess we happen. In the kitchen with them, I always tell you that. So you wanna put it out nice, sweet and dandy, clean hands. You put a little cheese and all of that. We have enough cheese, so you can play around and mess around with your cheese, and you're sitting, because guess what, we have enough. So you see, we didn't use that roux or bechamel sauce or what them want to say. Yeah, and you want to make sure so your pasta sauce have a nice little taste. So may I say? Yeah. Put in this, and then we're gonna lay again, and we are gonna leave some of the cheese for the final top. So when that, I want to show me I do, you know, so I'm gonna have to show you the whole works and everything. One more layer of cheese, and then we are putting the rest of that, and we are gonna leave most of the cheese now for the top of this. So next clip. At the top here now, you want to make sure so you have some coming to the edge, because you know you want to get a little nice crispness there at the edge. Yeah, and you can go as much as your cheese. Some people like the cheese out of this world, so depends on you and your cheese business. Do your thing. So you want to make it look good in there, you know, all nice and looking good and all of that. So this is very hard. Beauty about this, you can't skimp on the cheese. Okay, now we got our homemade breadcrumbs, and this is a special breadcrumbs that we made. We made it on Patreon, and this also has some cheese in it. It was a really special breadcrumbs that I did on Patreon, homemade. So we have put some breadcrumbs at the top. Yeah, so you know when the breadcrumbs start to get brown, and it sucks up, because when as the heat takes it, the cheese start melting and all of that. I think that's good on breadcrumbs. Now let's Let's get our hands wiped. It's always good to wipe your hands in a kitchen cloth as opposed to them hand towel there, you know. So this is our little paprika. You just got, let us do it on the finer side because we don't want it come to this is the part you use. Or if you have a shaker. Smoked paprika, sweet paprika could be fine too. Yep. Our oven is being preheated. I did show you when. So we're oven ready there now. You know, it has fire and all of that. That is it. You have to be strong. Into the oven we go with these cast iron enamel. Right? 25. If you're using your regular thing, you can go 20. But for me, 25 because this is really thick. Catch you then. Remember to have secured mittens, okay? So we are going in. See? We are coming. You see this top. Look at this top. Yep. We're gonna rest it right there. And we're gonna give it a few to just sit and to just, you know, come together because we want to slice it. When it sits, when you get it from the stove and it's hot like that, you let it sit probably about 5 or 7 minutes. You see that nice pretty top and all of that. I'll catch you next when I'll take out a slice just for you. Okay, so it has cooled down somewhat, so we're gonna try to get out a slice. You know, you have to make it cool. This is a big mac and cheese, but it's still soft. Let's try to take it out. This is a huge one. You see that? The longer it sets firm, the better you get the slice. But let's try to get some out just for you. Look at that. Look at that crust on the top. Look at that. But I like to let it cool some more and then I can enjoy it. But from my kitchen to yours, from my Jamaican kitchen to your family table. Some people like it like this, but actually I like to wait until it's properly cooled. But some people like it like this. So from my kitchen to yours, from my Jamaican kitchen to your family table, to your palate, and most of all to your stomach, it is baked macaroni and cheese with no roux. Enjoy!